Yeah.
Okay, we're live.
Okay. Good morning.
Hello, everyone. I don't know if anyone's out there yet. Oh,
Okay.
Barbara's here. Hi, Barbara.
And
We're going to be working on our travel binders today. We've been talking about this throughout the month, pretty much ever since CHA Creativation. When Dina Wakely came out with that, what does she call it? Collage collection book.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we've been talking about making our own type of binders. And both Peg and I are in a situation where we're going to be out a lot at medical facilities and stuff. So we want to have a collection of stuff that we can take with us and work on little journals and things while we are out. So today it's not about finishing something. It's not about making a piece or some kind of art that we can show you at the end. It's about working on these collage collections, our personal collage collections, and showing you different ways that we're going to do that. So,
Yeah. So like if you're thinking about, summer's coming, you might be on vacation, different places you want to go, and what you might want to take along, this is a good time to, if you're in your studio, start pulling things out and figure out what kind of containers you have and how best you can corral some of that stuff or what you would like to work with. Or if you're not in your studio, get out a piece of paper and start making your lists of things so that, when you're packing, you've got the things that you want in your stash. There's nothing worse than being someplace and all of a sudden saying, oh, I didn't bring an X-Acto knife, or, oh, I don't have a brush with me. So it just helps to think ahead and, maybe make your lists. I might even make a list to go inside of my bag because sometimes when I travel, I take things out and put things back in. And I need that checklist to make sure that I have those things with me as I go. Hi,
yeah,
everybody.
and with summer vacation, I mean, everyone should be doing something like this. Summer vacation's coming up, and the kids are off school, and you'll be taking them to swimming lessons and soccer practice and all that type of stuff. You could have something like this just ready to go. You don't need to pack it and unpack it. Just have something ready so that you can just go when you want to go. And it could just be something little. I have a lot of these different types of journals. Um, these two little ones were made by Vicki. This one is a junk journal that just has little pieces of ephemera in it. And this is a homemade one. Then this is another one that she made that has, well, I've made one page in it, that has gel printed pages in it. So those could be easily taken somewhere. This one is one that Rennie gave me as a gift, and she got it in New Orleans. It's a homemade journal. It's beautiful. It's got homemade paper. It's sewn up with hemp, and she did one page in it. It's even got some little pockets so you could put things in. And there's the page that she made in the note. But this is something that could easily go with me. The paper's a little thin, so I might do something like glue paper onto it rather than painting onto it directly because the paper's pretty thin. And then this is one that Peg gave me that's Diane Reevely. And I bought this black one because all my friends were doing things on black paper and I haven't done a single thing. And then it just has, it's got these, elastics. So these type of things are easy to take with you and do something creative while you're waiting for someone else to do their thing.
So true. I have a number of smallish journals. This one happens to be one that I made out of some of that vinyl that Shannon Green sends to us. She has these wonderful vinyl keepers. And I put watercolor paper in this one. You can see I've got a few pages done in here. But, if you like to do watercolor or wet medium, it's nice to have something with that sturdier paper in it.
Definitely.
And this is a really good size because it's small. You can throw this in a purse, just about anything with a small watercolor pad or can't even come up with my right words today.
Palette? I think you meant palette.
And this one is, let's see, this one is about 4.5 by 6. So it's a really nice small size, but you can still be very creative in something that size. I also have these Draw and Doodle small books. You don't have to take the whole cover and everything. This is, you know, my journal that has my calendar and all that kind of stuff in it. And then these are some of those papers that I tore out of the back of a book I was reading that had these different colored papers to work on. And I made a signature to go in here, but I could just take that signature with me. I don't have to take this whole thing, or I can take another book and stick it right in here, and I can take all of that with me, and then I can decide later what it is I want to work on. So those are a couple that work for me real well in a smaller size.
Yeah, I forgot about this one. I just went and ran and got it. This is one of those keepers, like, this is, you know, Shannon Green made product with the fused vinyl that she makes. And I took this to Ireland and Scotland. And all I took was this book and a little Altoids tin with some drops of gouache in there that's dried and a water brush. That's all I took. And I did this entire travel journal with just those materials.
Yep.
I made little sketches of things that I saw. I colored them with the gouache and the water brush. I glued things in. I guess I had a glue stick with me.
Yeah.
I glued things in. But yeah, you can make an entire travel journal with just that type of stuff. And every day when we would get back to the room that we were staying in, I would work in it. Or at the restaurant if we happened to be. My friends like to go to get some beers, and I don't drink, so I didn't really drink to get the beers. But I did the cover before I left. And yeah, that's just one of those little ones. So easy to use and fun.
And very
a great memory.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you can put
we
all
need to do some
things in there.
Oh my gosh. Need to welcome everyone. Hi, Rennie, Peggy, Michelle, Marie, Sybil, Holly, Annie. I think I already said Michelle. Yep. Holly, Annie. Yeah, I think that's everyone.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us.
We're so glad you're here with us. So we're just talking about taking things with us on the go. And, you know, the options that you have, we're suggesting that maybe you might want to make a list or start gathering things together yourself. But I have a couple of larger keepers that I don't necessarily take with me everywhere. Maybe if I'm going for a whole weekend someplace, I might take something on the larger side like this. But, you know, if I'm only going for, you know, a day or so, a small journal like this is plenty to have. But this is a one that will hold a 12 by 12 inch piece of paper, or those deli printed papers. Like if you want stuff to glue down, I've got all of these pages in here that I can rip and tear and glue down to my journal. So it's about 13 inches tall and I think about 6.5 wide. But that's another one from Shannon. And then I've got this one. It's about 9 by 11, I think. And you can fit a whole sheet of paper into this one. So like if you've got your digitals or papers that you've printed off, papers that you've created, they can go into something like this real well. But, you know, I don't recommend, if you're going for a short period of time, that you take necessarily all of this with you. You know, if you need a couple pieces of paper, pick them out in advance. And then just store your stuff this way so that you know what you have for a go-to. The other thing that I like for storage and to pull things out of are these zip binders. These are really cheap. You can get them on Amazon, and it's great for things like your tissue papers and your napkins and that sort of stuff. Suppose you plan on doing a whole bunch of backgrounds while you're sitting. You know, you can take some glue in a zipper binder like this, and you can create a whole lot of stuff that you can work on later. And it's got to have dry time anyway. That one is just full of tissue and napkins. This one is full of printed papers, you know, gel printed papers. So these are good for doing collage work. And then I've got another one that's just full of an assortment of stuff. You know, it might have things like those pieces, those bits and pieces that we made to go on to our books. Or, you know, a tag or something. Suppose I see somebody and I want to give them a tag. I have that kind of stuff in here. But it also has things like bubble wrap in case I want to do some stamping. It has some Citrusolve pages where I have used Citrusolve to alter magazine pages. I don't know if you guys have done this at all. If you haven't and you guys want to see us work on some of that kind of stuff, leave a note in the comments section.
Oh, we should do Citrusolve. I just have to buy some.
Yeah, and then I've got maps and music and printed page, you know, that sort of thing. So depending on my mood, I can pick up one of these bags and go for it. You know, it's got a lot of stuff to play with.
Hello, Malia. Hi. Hello, Jane. I think Peggy was already here. Did I say Peggy? I don't know. If I didn't, hi, Peggy.
I think she was.
It's hard to remember. I don't know. So, like we were saying, these Shannon Green ones are great, and that's what I'm going to make my collage collection out of. And I've started to put a few painted papers in there, and these are some of the ones that I did with Inktense pencils. And all I'm doing is just making them whatever paper that I think I'm going to throw in there, the size by just tearing it. So this one needs to be a little bit smaller to fit in. So I'm just going to tear. Sure I am. I'm going to tear. No, really, I am. I'm tearing two pieces in there. It's like, they don't want to tear. And then like with these bigger pieces, all I have to do is just fold them in half and tuck them in. The thing that I like about these Shannon Green ones is that they're 100% recycled from billboards. And I think that, you know, all that waste being recycled into something useful is great. So
Absolutely.
So then you just tuck things under these elastics that come with it. I didn't make it quite small enough. But anyway, you get the idea. The other ones I was doing like tearing, if it wasn't big enough to fold in half, I've been tearing the paper and then putting two of them together by using some washi tape. And then after I use these papers up for whatever journal I'm using, I can still use the washi tape. So that's what I've been doing this morning. I also have a couple other things I was doing, which is I have these. I bought these sheet protectors. They're smaller size ones for $1.42 on clearance somewhere a while ago. And the way that I tucked it in here was to just tie two of them together using the holes, using some baker's twine, you know, something inexpensive like baker's twine. And then I can tuck those in too. And I also made this one out of a piece of 12 by 12, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But this one's just got pockets, and I can put some other things that I have around in the pockets. So I'm planning on putting everything that I'm going to use in some way into this binder. This is going to be my entire collection because I don't really want to carry a bunch of stuff. And then I'll have a journal and a zipper pouch for my pens, pencils, glue stick, whatever. I did see this really great bag at Hobby Lobby. We have a new Hobby Lobby, and I went there the other day. So not something I do very often is going to those type of places, but I went there and it was this bag. It looked like it was about maybe 10 inches long, like a purse. And it had an opening and handles and it had pockets inside. And then on the outside, all the way around the outside, it had pockets that you could put things in, like, glue bottles and your water brushes or whatever. So I eyeballed it. I may go back. I don't know. I'm kind of a cheapskate, and it was $20, but
well, let
I
me
may
show you.
go back.
Let me show you my little discounted in the clearance aisle at Hobby Lobby bag. This is one of those things that I splurged on because I was traveling and I really wanted something to contain all of that sort of stuff. So it has pockets. So if I want to stick my journal right in here, I've got room to put a journal in. It's got zipper pockets. So if I want to add, some tissue papers or something like that, I've got a place to put that in here. Plus, I can grab something like a stack of stencils, and I can throw those in. So now I've got stencils and tissue paper. That's pretty essential for me when I work. I also have a clear pocket over here on the other side, and I can put things like a koi watercolor set in here. And then I can add things like my Elegant Writers, because these also are water activated. So I'll put those in there. Got to have a pair of scissors. Always got to have scissors with me. A stapler, a water brush, an X-Acto knife, a bone folder. And then these other things, you can or cannot as you like. I usually take a couple of these little pipettes. And you can take a water container like this if you want to, or you can just grab a cup. Everybody's got coolers, you can just grab a cup someplace. But those are collapsible, which are nice. And then I like to add a few extra brushes, a utility brush like this, and a few other brushes. And I'll put in some small things like a small bottle of matte medium. Trying to find it right now. I don't know where it is. A small bottle of glue. And I found that these are refillable. So, don't toss those. Those are I put a lean back in there. A little scrubby brush, a stylist, Sharpie. And that's pretty much, I have a white pencil and a white pen.
Posca pen. I can't survive without a Posca pen.
So, I mean, that's pretty much the essentials that I'm going to, oh, and then this is a Molotow masking liquid. So if you're doing watercolor and you want to mask, this is handy to have too. So, but I need to get some, oh, and a glue stick. You need a glue stick or two. Those are always important to have. So that's one side, and then you flip it open, and you've still got all this extra space over here. So, here's an envelope that somebody sent me that had pretty stuff on. So these things can fit in here. I can also fit my other journal in here if I want to. It's going to go right in there. I can add some pens. I could take, rather than the journal, I could take like these Archival Mini. This is just a pencil case that will slide right in here. And it's got all Archival Mini and StazOn ink pads. So suppose you want to take just a few stamps and stencils and use ink pads. This is a good way to take all of that with you, because this will go right in here. And these actually pop right off of here. So if you don't want to take the whole thing, you could just take, you know, these markers, these crayons, or your pens that are here. So, I mean, that's a nice case that holds an awful lot, and a quick thing to grab. It's got just about everything that I would need. If I didn't have those ink pads in there, I might even put my heat tool in there, you know. Just a easy peasy way of doing things. And it's got zippers on both sides. So a well-designed little bag. And I couldn't walk away. I couldn't walk away. I had to have this one.
I have to go see if I can find that one.
Because it holds a heck of a lot. And it is Create 365. It's a planner book container thing. And it is, if anybody wants to know, this one is about 11.5 by 9.5. And then it's about 4 inches on the side. Nice little bag.
So other things that you can put inside your piece of luggage of whatever style or size that you're looking for, whatever it is. Things like, I have these laser printed or laser copied images. These were from a collaboration that I did, but stuff like that. Of course, you got all your stamped on tissue images. You can't carry all your stamps with you. At least I can't.
No.
And if you already have them stamped on tissue with permanent ink, like these are, you can put some of those in one of your pockets. Also, a lot of us will sit around at night when we're watching television and cut out pieces of magazines that we think we might want to use. You can put some of those in there. I don't do it very often, but I know people who do cut out lots and lots and lots of magazine pieces. I just kind of tear them out and then throw them in a box, but some of those could be slid in there. Also, ephemera, purchased ephemera, like or things that you've collected, like tickets and tags and different things, little sketches. I just have all this stuff. You know, this stuff is ridiculously unorganized. I wish it was better organized, but any of these things can be slid into your collage collective book that you're going to make to travel with. Lots and lots of stuff. These are those little Tim Holtz paper dolls or found relatives or whatever they're called. Someone sent me these. But if you have old photos, you can just make photocopies and make your own of those.
Yep.
So with these pocket protectors, that's what I'm going to use to put some of my stamped images and things in there. All these kind of things are going to go in these pocket protectors. And then, or page protectors, not pocket protectors. Pocket protectors is what you put your ink pens in your pocket with. Oh my gosh. I don't have one of those. I'm not a scientist. The other pockets that I made here, you know, if you've got some old pieces of scrapbook paper that you're not using because you thought maybe you might scrapbook and you thought it was a really great idea and then you never did it. I don't know anyone who would do something like that. But you can just fold these and then, you know, fold a pocket into it and then fold it in half. This is really nice paper. This is double-sided even, but it's just, the fact is I'm just not going to use it. just not going to use it. So why not make it into a pocket?
Why not?
And you just fold it in half and fold it in half again. And then with this one, I put some washi tape to hold it together. And then that can tuck in there and you can put all kinds of little things in the pockets.
Yeah, and I would recommend you guys go over yesterday. Vicki from Messy Table Studio did a wonderful video on making pockets and in all different sizes. So if you want to make pocket inserts for these little travel journals, she's got all the instructions right there for you. So check that out. Yeah, I think she might have put a link on Art Joy is Sharing. I'll have to check that. But anyway, pockets, you know, they're selling them from people like Dina Wakley and Diane Reevely, and you can very easily make your own to slide into something like this.
Those guys make pockets and sell them?
Yeah. Haven't you seen the ones that slide into the journals?
I haven't even been paying attention.
Let me see if I have one. I'll show you.
I would just look at that and say, why would I buy that? Well,
I think I bought it on clearance. I don't think I would. Yeah, I'm not going to go. But it was good. It was good construction because it was good heavy duty.
Like manila paper?
Yeah. So I think I might even have one in here. Let me look. Yeah.
Somewhere back in the past.
Here's one. Here's one right here.
There you go. Oh,
and you can very easily make these, and go check out Messy Table Studio. She did wonderful, you know, just exactly how it's folded here and got the space in here. And, you know, this is good if you're going to carry something like this. You know, it's got a slot here. So like if I wanted to put some of those scraper cards in here, I could just, you know, add those in here. But you can make these. You can make your own. You don't necessarily have to buy this ready done.
Yeah, if you have old folders, manila folders left over from, you know, filing at some point and you're not using them anymore. One time I was given a bunch of them. They had writing on them, but it didn't matter because I was going to paint them anyway. And I just made a tag book journal where I could, you know, with pockets like that, and I could tuck finished tags inside of it. And that manila stock like that works great. And you're recycling if it's some, you know, if your file folder has a bunch of ones that are no longer being used, your file cabinet or at work, there's a stack of them. Don't throw them away. Just make them into something. Make them into something. That's always the plan.
Yeah, I'm trying.
So now I have two pocket pages in here to fill with stuff. I got some of these. I'm going to make a couple more of these with these cheap on clearance page things. That one looks like it has, I can see why that one was on clearance. It's got a big crease in it, but it doesn't matter to me because I'm only using it for storage. If I was using that to put something in, I might be kind of annoyed, but since it was $1.42 for 10 of them, doesn't really matter to me. So the only reason I'm sticking them together like that is so that I can tuck them under the elastics. But it works pretty good. It works pretty good. And if I ever need a piece of, what's this stuff called? Baker's twine for my project, I can just unthread it off of here and use it. Doesn't have to stay on there.
Right.
Also, I have a plan about washi tape because, you know, washi tape is ridiculous. And of course, you collect it and you've got so many piles of it and you're just like, oh, this is really fun, but how am I going to take it? One idea, of course, is to do it like this, where you take some plastic or something and wrap it around it. These are easy to take with you, right?
Right.
Someone just sent me these in Happy Mail. So that's why they haven't been, they're still in a little container. But the other idea I had to take just, some pieces of washi tape in case I want to use them is to just take the page protector that I was going to use for a pocket anyway. It's going to be in there anyway. And just put strips of it right on it. So then if I need this, I can just peel it right off because it's on a piece of plastic.
Yep, good ideas. So I did put the link for making those pocket pages in the chat. So if you guys want to go back later, you can check the chat and find that link if you want to make your own pockets, because Vicki does a great job of it. I don't need to repeat her video. You can go watch it with her. And she shows you all different sizes of pockets, starting with a 12 by 12 sheet of paper on down. So you can make whatever size pockets you want for whatever journal you've got.
Yeah, she's the one that made these two little journals that I showed you at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
She made these and gifted them to us.
Yeah, she loves making small journals.
Making little books. And this one's got, what's that stuff called? Duct tape binding. And then this one has a sewn binding. I'm sure she has stuff like this on her channel.
Yeah, yeah. So a couple of other things that I wanted to tell you about. I've got, those pouches. Some of you were saying that your kids carry those pouches to school, that you've got a lot of them. Yeah, they're great for all kinds of organizational things. This one, which is half the size of the other ones, I had actually taken some of my stencils and cut them down. You know how you get those great big, like 12 by 12 or 9 by 11 stencils? And maybe the design is varied across it, or you just want something smaller, or, sometimes I even damage my stencils. Imagine that. So I've taken some of those larger stencils and I've cut them. Let me get a piece of paper here. I've cut them. That doesn't show up on there. All right. Try something else. There we go. I've cut them to a size that's manageable to go in here. So I have these different images in a smaller, more manageable journal size that I can take with me. So, and some of them already come in a nice, small, compact size like this. Some of them you end up having to cut, like here's a key that was part of a big one. Some of them need to be cut apart for me because I'm not going to carry that great big stencil with me when I can have a pouch with just these small images. Here's some more where you can see where I've got a cut edge here, but I can still get a really nice, and it's a repeat pattern. So it doesn't matter that I didn't get the rest of that. I can pick this stencil up and I can repeat it just by laying it down where I've been before. So that's something.
If the edges are bothering you, you don't have enough edge for stenciling and you keep going over the edge, you can either put washi tape border or you could put a duct tape border. Just tape it right onto the stencil around the edge. I think Patty probably has one of those.
Yeah.
It has the edges on it.
Yeah, I think it was Julie Fay Fan Bowser who first taught me to, if you've got a stencil and it's not wide enough, if you're running off the edge all the time, like suppose you're spraying and stuff is running off all the time, just put a nice big border of like your duct tape on the edge. Yeah. And that'll make a good place for you to hold on to it and all that. Now, another thing that I got recently is this bag of stuff. And you notice I'm utilizing my bags again to keep things together. So in here, I have, for the doodlers, I have my We Are Memory Keeper. What do they call this thing? It's got to have a name, right? This is a We Are Memory Keeper doodler thing.
I don't know what that is. I don't know, have any idea what that is.
Well, it comes with instructions, and if you're a doodler, you know what I'm talking about, because it's got, places for you to put your pen, places for you to put your pen in. It makes your nice circles. It's got things to line up. It's got a ruler. It's got circles, squares, your arrows. It's got all of that stuff on here. And this thing doesn't seem to have a name. I'll have to find that for you guys. But along with that, and it comes with, well, no, it doesn't. It comes with the instructions, right? So that you can use it. But then it also, they also make this piece, which I thought was interesting, because if you're trying to bind your own pieces, I always have trouble with that. And this piece has all the holes, and you just slip your paper underneath here. You screw down. This lines up. So if I'm taking my paper that I'm going to, center and punch, this will just go on here, and it's got all my holes to do my even punching for my stitches.
That's a nice tool.
Yeah, and then it flips over, for your stitching and that sort of thing. And it comes with all the stitching stuff in this nice little case with the instruction book. I mean, it's got your paper piercer. Let me put this thing back together before I lose my pieces. It comes with the paper piercer, and these are not terribly expensive, but they're great tools to have. Here's your
Tuesday Morning has a bunch of the We Are Memory Keepers stuff right now. I can show you a couple things I got if I can find my bag.
Comes with the curved needle, a straight needle, and some wax linen, which I can't get out of there right now. There it is. Some wax linen to do your stitching with. And then a nice little instruction book to go with it. So that's great to have if you're wanting to make some of your own signatures to go into your books. And like I said, this is not a terribly expensive tool. So, and it shows the different types of stitches, like these different Japanese stab binding stitches. So if you wanted to have a good reference, this little reference book is a nice one to have on hand. And the other thing that I have are these templates, because, you've seen people doing all of these mandalas. Well, I don't draw circles real well. So I got some of these templates because you can draw your circles and your circles within circles and create, a starting place if you're going to do that type of doodling. And so these are handy to take with you if you're just going to be working with your pens and doing some doodling on some black paper. And since Shell has a black paper one, she probably needs to do that.
Yeah, it looks like I need some of those tools because I've been afraid to start doodling because I'm not very precise.
Well, I'm not either, but I think this helps me with my precision. And I think a lot of people are afraid to do that type of work just because of that. So anyway, all of that can also fit in a pouch, and I can just take this stuff with a pen and a journal, and I'll have all of that stuff together.
So I'll show you the two things I just got at Tuesday Morning. They had a ton of stuff from We Are Memory Keepers. I got one of these scoring tools that has all the little measurements and the scoring thing. I have a larger one of these that I used to make boxes and things, but this one's great for like card size and little pocket size ones. It was a lot smaller, and it was on clearance for $4.99 at Tuesday Morning. And then this one, I don't really need this, but I just thought it was a cool idea. Obviously, no one else needs it if it's on clearance, but it's a spiral cutter. So you've got this guide that you put on your paper that you want to spiral cut, and then this little cutting tool. And the cutting tool, once you take the little cover off, however you, whoa, I'm going to lose it. Just lost everything onto the floor. Oh, gosh. Then the cutting tool has a blade. See, it's got a sharp little blade in there. And it just is just guided along the spiral, so you can make an easy spiral, and you can either use it as a spiral, which I really like spirals, or you can fold it up into a rose. I don't know if it even has a picture. Oh, here we go. See these little roses, these little paper roses? Those are just little rolled up spirals. So I saw that and I thought I don't really need that, but for $3.19, I did need it, apparently. I needed it badly.
You know, they put the prices on there that just make you want to get it, right?
I gotta find the lid of this to that, or else I'm gonna cut myself with it. That is a sharp little blade. Trust me, it's a sharp blade. Where did the lid go? It's on the floor somewhere. There it is. So yeah.
So I put a couple of links in for those tools if you guys are interested in any of that kind of stuff. I just think they're really handy to have.
Beth says that they used the spiral cutter to make the groomsmen flowers at her daughter's wedding.
Cool.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So a couple of other container things for on the go are these cases, and I've got a couple of them because I use them for different things. The gray one that I have, I'm using for pens on the go, and it's nice and compact, and especially for doodlers, you know, if you're just taking your doodle tools and this in a journal, you've got what you need. And then this one has all of my watercolor pencils in it. So I'll open that up and show you what it looks like here as soon as we get switched around.
You're switched. You've been switched for a while.
Okay, I'm still seeing you on the screen though. Not sure.
I see you on both of my screens.
Okay, all right. So anyway, the pen case, I have an assortment of pens in here. It's got like 4 different sections to it. So I can put a lot of different types of pens in here. So I've got, here's my Jelly Roll and my Signo in the metallics. And here is, thanks, Cindy. Here are some more Jelly Roll. And then this one has the glitter and the glaze, and then my microns. So you can see just how many pens you can fit into a little storage unit like this. And this is the, what are these? Prismacolor pens in different colors, and some metallic pens, a black and white pen, and a gold calligraphy pen. So that's just, you know, for that doodling person that needs to have all of those different types of pens, you know, especially if you're working in that black journal shell.
Yeah, I don't have the pens, so I guess I can't start.
This is a way to do that. Well, just white pens on black are great, honestly.
I do have the Signo white gel pens.
Yeah, I like the Signo, and I like the white Jelly Roll. Those are all
Yeah.
nice ones. The other pens that I got recently that I thought would be fun to play with are these highlighters, because they're really bright, fun colors. And I'm thinking summer. And I thought those would be a fun addition. And then in this one, I did not like those big tins that had my watercolors in them, my watercolor pencils. So rather than having to take that watercolor palette, I can just take this one with me, because this has a multitude of watercolor, and you can take, you know, your Peerless watercolor in here too. But I have my graphite and a pencil, you know, just to draw out. I've got a black and white, and then I've got all my colors of my Derwent Inktense, because I like the Inktense pencils better, because once they dry down, they're permanent. So if I want to go over it with another medium, it's going to work for me. So, you know, I'm not a real watercolorist, but I love the Inktense just because you can use it in mixed media.
I saw somebody post one of those type of where did I see it? It must have been Facebook, but they had something like that held markers and pens, and they had held like 120 of them or something.
Yeah, these have, okay, there's 4 sections in here, and there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's 20, 40, 60. There's 80 in this little container, okay? So it's a really nice compact way of taking something like that. And like I said, if I did not want to take up my space in this particular carrier with my watercolor things, you know, that saves space for some other type of something. Because this little pocket one, even though it's a pocket one, I mean, it's nice because it is pocket and it's watercolor. And it's got its own mixing pan. It's got its own space for your water brush,
yeah,
and a place to clean off. So, I mean, this is a really nice little set. However, it is a little bit bulky when you're trying to pare down and not carry so much stuff with you. So if you prefer...
It's so clean. Mine doesn't look like that at all.
Well, I've cleaned it out. Can you see I cleaned it? There's still crud in the corners.
I guess I've never cleaned mine. It's a complete mess.
Yeah. Well, at some point, I feel like I have to clean.
I don't clean. No way.
But it's still, these things are still very compact, very portable. Very easy to use. So, do you guys have any good tips for us about how you travel? What do you take with you when you go? How do you, you know, a lot of people do plein air art where they're out in nature doing things, and they have to have a way of taking all this stuff with them to create.
You know, I really love acrylic paint and gesso, and that's the one thing that I haven't really figured out a way to take. Gesso I could put in a little bottle, like a little squeezy bottle, but I don't know about...
Well, I like the small tubes, like these from Deco Art. So you can get matte medium and gesso in these little tubes like this.
I guess these Arteza ones would be small enough to take, and there's a titanium white.
And then, you know, the multi-matte medium that comes in the little bitty bottle too.
I want a couple colors. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't found a really great solution for that. I'd like little teeny tiny ones, like an inch or 2 inches.
Well, you just take some of this and fill a different bottle.
Yeah.
Like I bought, okay, and let me guys show you. I love these small bottles.
The fine liners? She must be grabbing them. Hi, Ela. Hi. I saw someone else that was new. Beth. Hi, Beth.
You guys are going to think I'm nuts. But when I see things that I think are going to be useful, I pick them up. So, I mean, even things like if I want to mix some paint colors or something, I even get these like condiment bottles to do my paint mixing in. So that
those
if
are great for liquid pouring.
Right.
Those condiment ones, yeah.
But you can also get these small screw top bottles, and you can fill these up with whatever you want and put them in your to-go bag. They're called craft writers, and you get 4 of them for, looks like $2.49. Use a coupon, cheaper, right? They also have this type, which is from Americana. Looks like I got these in Hobby Lobby. And they have a nice clip-on top and a nice little point to them. So this is a nice small container. And, you know, you can do your writing and stuff with this too, like if you're putting paint in there. So.
Oh, you're right, Rennie. You are right. Rennie just said that the smalls, where are they? Here we go. That's what I'll take with me. Is these Dina Wakley 1 ounces. These, they're fairly small. I would actually like something even half the size, but these are small. These could do it.
Yeah.
And these are nice bright paint. So
yeah,
that's a good idea. Thank you, Rennie.
The DecoArt Media are only a 1 fluid ounce. So like if you take a set of primaries, get a yellow, a red, a blue, a black, and a white.
I have these 2 right here.
This makes a nice little paint set to go with you.
I never put anything away, so have those 2. They're about the same. But the Dina Wakley Media ones have a thicker paint. It's a heavy body paint, and it's got a screw top with a little pointy thing. Whereas the Media ones, they're fluid and they just pour out. So you can't, I would say that these would be better than these. But you're right, these are small. Yeah. Okay.
The other thing that I have is these fine line ones. This one is a 1/2 ounce squeeze bottle.
That's the size I want.
And it comes with a 0.5, a 0.7, and a 0.9. So you got 3 different sizes in this particular kit. This one looks like came from Hobby Lobby, and it's got the fine tips that you can put on there. And then these I found on Amazon, and I like these. I think Mary Beth Shaw turned me on to these. And I get a whole big bag of them. I've used a lot of them. And they've got that fine point tip with a little cap on it. And it's secured, so it's not going to run away on you. You're not going to lose the cap. So you pull off the tip, and you've got a nice needle point. So these are great little bottles to take things in.
I'm going to look on Amazon and see if there's a big bag of 1/2 ounce ones. That's what I want.
I'm pretty sure there is.
Amazon has everything. And then the only question is how to narrow down your paint choices.
Well, and that's
want
what I'm saying.
every
It
color.
depends on what you like to work with, you know, whether
Every
you
color.
want a thicker paint or a thinner paint. I'm really happy with the media paint because it only takes a little tiny drop. It's thin enough that it goes a long way and it mixes beautifully. So if I just have my primary colors and my black and white, I can create.
Any color. Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. Media paint is very lovely. Deco Art fluid media paint.
Yep. They're just like this, and they're in 1 ounce bottles. And all I would do is take these and, you know, get my set of 5 colors, put them in a zip bag and stick them in that bag that I showed you. And then I've got what I need. Of course,
Yep.
probably want to throw in a paint rag and something to wash your brushes with.
Maybe a flattening. I got this one. This is from Faber-Castell. It's like a water container that flattens.
Yeah.
That would be a good thing to have. Or, you know, every place that you're going to go probably has cups. So you can just use
right
their water.
Yeah. And it's got a nice lip on it so that, you know, your brushes will rest on the top.
Yep. It's got brush resters.
So that's a nice, and then, you know, I tear up old t-shirts. I've got things like this where, and, you know, you can see that this is stained, but it's been through the wash. It's not all crusty. I use it, I throw them in the wash, and I reuse them. So these are my paint rags. So I can throw a paint rag, my water bucket, and a few of those paints in, and I've got a nice painting setup.
Also, baby wipes come in very small little travel pouches these days. Like at the dollar store, you can get a pretty flat one if you like to use those in your art.
True.
Only probably has 10 or 15 in there, but you can tear them in half.
I actually have one of those refillable baby wipe pieces that you get from, I don't know, Target or one of those places.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can take those dollar store baby wipes and take however many I think I'm going to need and stick them in that refillable and just seal it up.
Oh, is it one of those plastic ones?
Yeah.
Like a plastic folder. I used to have one when my kids were little. It was like just a plastic folder that clicked together.
Yeah,
that would be good.
Like it works just like a Ziploc bag.
Oh, you have a Ziploc one.
Well, no, it's actually made for, because it's got the pop-up top on it. It's actually baby wipes. I just don't see it here right now. I usually take it with me when I go somewhere. Can you tell I've been on the run and my studio needs cleaning?
I'll bet it doesn't look like mine. This is just ridiculous. Ridiculous. But I haven't been in here for 2 weeks, so whatever. It usually looks like this anyway, and I don't really care.
Well, I think it helps me. It helps me find things if I have them where they belong instead of just leaving them out. Because, you know, I'll do several projects and then the pile gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And if I finish something, I really want to put it away because then I know where to go find it the next time.
Yes.
And that just is the way I operate because I have such a hard time. I'm a visual person and I need places for things to be. And I want to be able to look around the room and say, oh yeah, that's where my alcohol ink is. And that's where my papers are. And that's where, and go to that area to find what I'm looking for. Thanks, Sybil. Yeah, have a good day at work.
Wow, there's a lot of papers.
Yeah.
I just want to make more, though.
Yeah.
It's not enough. I need more.
I don't know if I showed you guys
More.
this. This is another one of those paper journal things where I've got extra papers and things in here. But Shannon does, if you don't know Shannon Green, Shannon does make these keeper things. Now she's got a belly band that goes around the outside of the journal. This is what she was doing originally, where she made this keeper and you could slide your pens and things in here. But my good friend Vicki had painted this one all up for me. And I put a few signatures in here. So, you know, it just gives me a place to work. Another place to work.
Yeah, I would like to get one of those belly bands for this thing that you can put your pens in.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good thing. You know, I don't have much more to say.
Well,
It's been a
that's
bad couple of weeks.
fine. You know, we don't have to keep going just because we keep going. You guys have any questions about any of this stuff? Any comments about, you know, what works best for you?
I haven't really seen anybody say anything about what they're doing. I've kind of been looking, but
Yeah.
hints, tips, tricks, people, I'm sure you guys have some. Oh, Michelle did say that she has loads of thick coloring book pages that she could use for folders.
Yes. That's a good one.
Yeah. They say they like the custom keepers. I'm looking.
Mm-hmm.
I like the custom keepers simply because they're recycled. It makes me happy.
But I mean, these, I was watching her the other day making these page, those pockets, and they are so easy. You know, if you're making something this size, they are so easy to do. And I just think you need to go watch her making those. I'm thinking I need to make a few pockets for a few things that I want to add to mine too. And
oh, I gotta go. Wait, yeah, shoot. You keep talking.
okay. Dinner time. Okay. All right. I get that. So if you scroll back up in here, you'll see the link for Messy Table Studio. And that's where you're going to find those pocket pages.
Okay, that wasn't, well, hopefully I missed it. So hopefully that wasn't the scheduling that I was looking for.
Right.
They didn't leave a message. So if they didn't leave a message, it wasn't important.
Right.
Right.
So we probably need to call it a day, guys. It's been kind of chaotic in our lives lately. So
Yeah.
we'll catch you next week. I think we got something scheduled.
Renee says that she works in several journals at a time. It makes a huge mess until she's done with all the pages and then takes almost a full day to put it all away.
Yeah.
I would like to decorate this. It looks like it's hair. Doesn't it look like hair to you?
What looks like hair?
My journal, my keeper, custom keeper. It's hair from a billboard.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
right
Barb,
there.
it does seem like a lot because I'm showing you different options. I would not take all of this at once. You know, if I'm taking a journal like this, I might only take you know, my pens or something and a journal. If I'm and it depends on how many days you're going to be gone. You know, if you're going to be on vacation for a week, you're going to want, and it depends on if you're flying or if you're driving, what you can accommodate, you know,
Yeah.
and what you like to work with for a medium. You know, if what you like is paint, you're not going to take all that watercolor stuff with you. If you like working with pens and templates and that kind of thing and doing your doodling, that's what you're going to take with you. I'm just showing you all kinds of options that are available to you for travel and for things that you can take, because not everybody does the same thing.
Yeah. I tend to need painty papers, paint, and medium and pens. Like that makes me happy right there.
Mm-hmm.
So if I just had just this book and a little bit of matte medium and you know, a little bit of paint, maybe couple different colors of paint, and scissors, the glue stick. That's probably really, even I haven't even filled this thing up, and it's already got enough stuff for me to entertain myself for probably 8 hours, just with the few things I put in it so far.
Right.
And I meant to have this thing ready to go already, but it's
Right.
not. I haven't been able to do anything. So, but this
Like
is what I intend to take, just this, and
Yeah,
then
like I showed you in the beginning, I wouldn't take any more than this bag.
yeah.
This is going to
Well,
contain
that
everything.
bag right there could entertain me for like a week.
Yeah, it's got everything in it that I'm going to need.
Kathleen says, thanks for sharing some good ideas today.
Thanks.
Thank you, Kathleen.
We hope we're helping you guys get organized and have things the way you need it, especially with this summer season coming on.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it for us today, guys. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, leave a comment below if you'd like to. And we'll see you next week. I don't even know what the topic is, but I saw that there was topics
I
already
think
loaded.
we're doing the Pick-a-Stick next week.
Oh, Pick a Stick challenge next week.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing an art journal page next week.
Yeah.
So see you then. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, come play along. We'll see you then. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for being here.